Hi, my name is Veronica, and that's Sue. And today we're here to record a podcast regarding uterine cancer. And so today's topic is going to be awareness of uterine cancer. So we're going to go ahead and speak of our experience. We're not doctors. This is just our journey and our story. So I just want to, advise that
Right.
to you guys because we're not experts. We're just
No,
saying our story and that's
exactly.
basically why we're doing this podcast. So we're just gonna go ahead and start it off by saying hopefully you guys are having a good day. If you are starting your journey with uterine cancer, it's very hard to go through it. It's something that you have to experience to understand that it's hard. It's not easy. How did you first feel, Sue, when this happened to you? Almost 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago, like you, I was surprised because I did not have a lot of symptoms. And that was the thing. I thought we had to have like a lot of symptoms and pain. I didn't have that. I just had, I think I spoke about this in the other podcast. It was just like a liquid that came out of me at that moment, and that was it. And very little bleeding, if anything, maybe once or twice, but very, very minor. So I thought, what is that? So I wasn't aware that it was cancer. I was like shocked. So I went to the doctor, like I had said. And then when I found out after all the tests and stuff that I had cancer, I was shocked. But I think that we don't know enough about this, and people don't realize that they have cancer because we don't have that information. And the first doctors that I went to said, "Oh, you have a UTI. There's medicine. Go home. Don't worry about it." So I was being treated for UTI, and it wasn't even a UTI.
Yeah.
So did you go through that also?
Mine was because I at the time I didn't know because I had experienced like a change in my period. It was starting to be very heavy, and so I would always tell my doctors, "Hey, you know what? I don't feel like it's normal," and they would um, tell me, "No, it's normal. You're probably going through a change." But I'm still in my early like it started in my late 30s and I was like, but it seems kind of weird that I'm starting so early, and so you never think about, oh, your parents having um, that you're gonna go through something like that, right? Like your parents going through cancer,
Right,
like my mother
right,
and her mother. um, when you're in your 30s or 20s, you don't think about stuff like that. You're not like, oh, well, let me look at my family tree and see is there cancer. You don't think about stuff like that. You're thinking about other things, right, in your life. You're not thinking about, is that going to happen to me or something. So, but yeah, so I started heavy bleeding, like to a point where I couldn't walk. Like it wasn't normal to me, and they would just brush me off. They would be like, "No, it's normal. You're fine. Don't worry about it." And I had gotten like a biopsy, and it came back normal. And but it continued and started to get worse and worse, and it was painful. It felt like stabbing pains. Like it was so painful. Like
yeah,
I could not take the pain anymore. Like I had gone to go get my pap smear and it came out normal, and it just felt weird because I almost passed out in the office because I got like a blood clot, like really bad. I was like, wow, what is this? And so I at that point I knew something was wrong, and that's when I called my gynecologist and she did another biopsy, and that's when it came back positive that it was cancer. But the awareness of that, because sometimes like yourself that you got it at menopause already, that you had gone through it, you would think someone around your age would not get something like that, right? Because you've already gone through
right, yeah,
stages and all
yeah.
that.
My no, and I had a so when I had this, they did a pap test, believe it or not, and they said, "Oh, it's you're fine." I'm like, "I am," and that's what said, "Oh yeah, the pap test came back normal," and I was like, "Well, something's wrong." So sometimes the tests aren't always accurate, or it doesn't show it. That's what I'm thinking. So how they found out was when I did have the DNC, and then they biopsied it, and then they found out that it was cancer. Then after that, I had to go in for the hysterectomy, and then after that, it was the treatment. So it's like a step. It was this and that, but at the time, I was shocked. I was just shocked that I had cancer. My mom had cancer. She had stomach. My father had colon cancer. They died in their 50s. So I wasn't surprised that I was going to have cancer one of these days, but I didn't think it was going to be uterine cancer. I was surprised it was uterine cancer. So I know. But the doctors, they reassured me, don't worry, we're going to help you through this. And it's very, very scary and confusing, because I didn't have the pain. Like a lot of people have such bad pains and a lot of bleeding. I didn't have anything like that. Nothing like that at all. So that's why I was surprised. And I tell you the truth, if I didn't have that liquid come out of me, which it came from the lining, that's what it was. It was the lining came out, the water. I wouldn't have went, and it could have been a year from now, and I could be gone. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know. You really don't know.
And uterine cancer is very rare. Um,
Right.
it's not something that's easy to detect. You just gotta know your body, you know.
Right.
It doesn't matter what age you are, you know.
No,
You could
doesn't
be in
matter.
your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. It doesn't matter.
No,
It can come at any age because we've seen women in 20s, 30s, and in the group that I have, and it comes in any age, and you just got to be self-aware. What is your body telling you, and what is it that you want? You have to be your own advocate of your body when you're going into doctors and asking probing questions like, what is this? What do I have? What kind of cancer? Is it aggressive? Is it slow growing? Because knowing what you have and educating yourself is the key, because it's your body. At the end of the day, it's your body. And if you don't know what you're dealing with, you're not going to know. And at the end of the day, it's whatever you decide, what type of treatment, no treatment, natural, not natural, whatever, it's your decision. It's not the doctors, it's not your family, it's your body, it's your decision, because you're the one that's going to go through, the journey. You're the one going through the physical pain. You're the one going through this and the emotional part as well.
right,
And it's really good to talk about it, because you got to deal with your regular life too. You got to deal with work. You got to deal with your everyday life and whatever comes with it. And then your personal emotions, dealing with this. Oh, is it going to come back? Why
right.
am I so stressed? And stress is also a factor.
A
And,
big factor.
and,
Yes.
and you have to learn how to kind of gauge it where you make it into a positive. So, like me and Sue, this is kind of like a positive for us. How do we gauge it to, yes, it was a negative thing that happened to us, but how are we making it into a positive?
Right.
Talking about it, expressing about how we feel. What are we doing to educate women of what we went through? And like I said, this is our journey. This is what we're going through still to this day, because it never ends. Today,
No. Forever. It's
not here
forever.
anymore. You're going to continue to go to the doctor. You're going to continue to feel side effects. You're going to feel emotional. There's good days where you're okay. There's days where you're tired. There's days your body hurts. You don't know why. Oh, what is this? Why am I crying? Why am I emotional? Why is this happening to me? And it's normal. It's just normal things that you're feeling, because your body is now out of whack because of what happened to you, what they took out of you, and it's okay, you know?
Right. Right. And I think also, once you get this diagnosis and you're hearing from a doctor, I really think if you're not happy with what he's saying, you should get another opinion. I really think it's good to get a couple of opinions, and then you could decide what you want to do, because that one doctor may not be a good fit for you. I really believe that. And or the doctor may not tell you something that you want to hear, which we don't want to hear it anyway. But if you hear from someone else, then you'll say, well, you know what? They're both telling me this. And I think that's very important, that if you're not happy, you should proceed to try to get another doctor to talk to. You need somebody that's going to listen to you. That's the whole thing. Finding the doctor that's going to sit down and tell you this is what you need to do, and you feel good about it. That's a very important step, I think, is finding the right doctor. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think so, because you need to have your doctor speak for you. If you're not able to, if you get to a point where, you know, if something else happens along the way, you want to have somebody that's going to be your advocate as well, you know, and
Right.
know how you are, because obviously they have a lot of patience, right? But at the end of the day, it's, you have to build that relationship with your doctors too. They need to know who you are. And I have a doctor like that, you know, and he's very good. He's my radiologist. And I have, you know, I feel like he's a good doctor for me anyways, a bit, because I ask a lot of questions and he already knows when I go, he's like, what do you have for me? What are you going to do? What are you, what, blah, blah, blah. And I ask him because I need to know what is this that out in my scan? What does it mean? What could happen? Why is it there? Why, you know, stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, I know. And I have a good doctor also. And when he told me what was going on with me, he gave me choices. You know, you could do this or you could do this and think about it. And I thought about it and I went with the decision. And I'm happy that I did the radiation, the 5 treatments like you did. Did you do 5 or 4? Rock therapy? Did you have 4
Mhm.
of them? Yeah, I had 5 of them. And at the time, I was so unsure about even doing it. And when I went into his office, I said to him, Doctor, if I was your mother, what would you do? I would tell you to do it. He said, you have to do it. It is a 25% chance with what I had that it could come back again. And the other, if you don't do it, it could be maybe 3% or 4%. So the odds were like, gee, it doesn't take a lot of brain surgery to figure out what you're going to do. So that was the best thing for me. You have to be aware of a lot of things, of the side effects. What are the side effects? Can you tell me what's going to happen? Well, you could have bowel problems, you could have bladder problems, tiredness. There's a lot, but not everyone gets these side effects. You know, some may never have any. You might get pain, you might not get pain. We're all different, but you have to know and be aware of what they are. And then you can look it up and then talk to people that have it. You
Yeah,
need to, that's the whole thing is awareness of what could happen if you do the treatment. And if you don't do the treatment, you need to know that it could come back worse than it was in the beginning. And that's what you need
true.
to think about. Yes.
So this is a topic that we wanted to talk about, and next week we're going to be talking about another topic. But for now, this is all the time we have for this episode. But don't forget to tune in to next week's episode. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you have a certain topic you would want us to talk about, don't forget to put it in the comments, and then we'll go ahead and look at it, and then maybe in a future episode, uh, put it in there. But for now. My name is Veronica,
I'm
and
Suzanne, and we're all
we will
warriors
see
in this
you
our
next
journey.
week.
Yep.
And we hope that you have an amazing weekend, okay? Stay safe,
Okay. Bye
everybody.
bye.
Bye.